So we are going to do a close reading today. Today we're going to be doing a reading, and we're going to be reading a piece of text that's going to be informational. So it's going to give us information. Exactly. So will you please look at the Elmo while I go through and read it to you for our first read. Close reading would be giving the students a piece of the text and doing a cold read of it. So it's a text that they have not seen before, and in that step, the teacher then would read aloud the text to the beginning readers. As I'm reading aloud, I might be highlighting, I might be pulling out a vocabulary word, but we will not discuss those parts until the second read. So I'm basically just giving them kind of the gist, the first part of the reading. Listen closely as I read and mark on the text. Leopards are skilled hunters. They have many features, I don't know that word, that help them hunt. I also will think aloud doing that. Oh, this is a word I don't know. I'm going to circle and put a question mark by it. So that they see how to fluent read and they know that when they start reading on their own that they'll be able to do those same kind of activities with a piece of text. They're able to tackle a difficult piece of text in that way. Right now what I want you to do is I want you to discuss with your partner. Here's what you're going to be discussing. You'll turn to your elbow partner, you'll select who's going to speak first, and I want you to talk about what's something that you learned from this. You can use a sentence starter as leopards can, leopards are, okay? So turn to your neighbor now, decide who's going first, and discuss with your partner about leopards. Let me know when you are done. We might also include in there a little discussion, because discussion should always be included in some kind of text, and that gets students to think a little bit more about what it is that we're reading.
Okay, my turn. I think leopards, they eat the prey and they wait for little ones, so the prey just stand there and looking for other prey, for other enemy to eat. So when the leopard got maybe a tiger might die.
So in the second reading of the same piece of text that we would be using, the teacher does the cold read again. I might have some students that are able to read along with me. Some of them might read aloud, some of them in their head if I ask them to. Okay, eyes on your text. Leopards are skilled hunters. They have many features. Oh, let's circle that word features and put a question mark by it because I'm not quite sure what that means. I'll start again. They have many features that help them hunt. First, leopards camouflage. I'm going to underline that because I know that word. We've talked about that. And as we read this time, I'm using those same vocabulary words, but we're going a little more in depth. So we might be talking about the definition. We might be using context clues around that word. In that, we're also doing more partner discussion. So they're using sentence stems to answer questions if they're beginning readers. We also are using some type of comprehension skill. It might be fact or opinion, as it was in this case. It might be main idea and detail. It just depends on what it is that we're working on as a class. So here's my board. You have yours, obviously. And we have been talking about fact or opinion. Remember, a fact is something you can prove. And what's an opinion? What you think, feel, and believe. So at the top of your board, I want you to write fact. Besides the vocabulary and the comprehension skill, I also try to include some piece of writing. It might be on a whiteboard, it might be a sentence, or your reaction to a text. Leopards use their camouflage. Absolutely. Let's write that sentence, okay? First grade friends, are you ready? Yes. Look at your text. Jorge just found it for us. He told us about it too. Leopards use their camouflage. All right, first grade friends, let's write that together. Leopards use, let's make the sounds. Class? Yes. Let's finish up this last part of our close reading here. So we're going to work on the main idea and detail. We've been working on this skill for quite some time. Remember that the main idea is what the whole thing is about. Exactly. And then we're going to add some detail to that. The third reading that we did, we used main idea and detail. So as a class, we chose what the main idea was in the text, and then we together wrote down one detail that supported the main idea. I had the students work in pairs in order to come up with two other details from the text. And I walked around and monitored to make sure that they were finding those details in the text. A lot of them found it easy to find the second detail, but a lot of them had a little bit more difficulty. A lot of them needed more assistance in finding the third detail to support the main idea. So what's something, a detail that's in the text that we can use to support that leopards are skilled hunters? What's something in the text?
They eat beetles.
Show me. So we talked about leopards being skilled hunters, and you pulled out some details about them being skilled hunters that support that idea. This video clip that you're going to see right here is going to be just a quick video clip about leopards being skilled hunters. Now this is real life, yes?
Yes.
So we know that leopards do what to get their prey? They have to do what? They have to hunt, okay? And then when they get their prey, a lot of you wrote down this detail. You said that leopards are amazing hunters. You said climbers. And guess what? You're going to see that in here as well, okay? You'll see that. So make sure that you're watching. The video is my engagement piece. My students like to watch video clips. I usually save it for the end because I want them to understand that the text is where we get the information from. Yes, videos can give us information as well, but I wanted them to rely on the reading more so than the video clip. I know if I had shown the video clip before asking them to do a task, writing, discussing with their partner, they might have used the video clip instead of the text as part of their support. So I wanted to make sure that they use the reading first as their support before the video. This is something that I've developed over a couple of years, just noticing that first and second grade readers also need exposure to the strategy of close reading so that when they get to the upper grades, they know how to tackle a piece of difficult text. So this strategy of beginning reading is just something that I've developed over a couple of years. Teacher doing first read and thinking aloud and then engaging students as we go deeper and deeper into each reading.